Okay. Yes! I love that sound. That sound means I have to actually get into mode. Here I am. I'm ready to rock. It's Chris talking to you from the studios of WFC3. People have been looking that up, as a matter of fact. They're looking like, what is that WFC3? Is that like a real thing? Is that the east side of the Mississippi? I guess so.
Absolutely.
It's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
And this is
a secret layer dungeon studio.
Is it like the cow level in Warcraft?
I don't know what the cow level of
Yes,
Warcraft
it's
is.
exactly like that.
You got to look up the cow level from Diablo and Warcraft, and then you'll figure it out from there.
Hilarious.
Well, I know the cow level in Diablo, where you go through Tristram and things like that.
As an anniversary tip of the hat in World of Warcraft recently, they did a whole event where there was a secret cow level.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so anyway.
You're speaking foreign languages to me already.
Oh.
Just wait, Billy.
El gato es en el baño.
The cat is in the
Muy
bathroom?
guapo.
Muy el gato
guapo.
es muy guapo.
The cat is very fat.
Tu pantalones es en fuego.
Your pants are on fire? Let's stop.
Tanya's got the running translator going. Yeah. Who needs Google when you've got Tanya? Welcome to Monkey Business, everybody.
You're
you can tell,
arm reach today.
I am within arm reach of Tanya in the studio today.
That's very bad.
It could get bad fast.
Tony did that, I think, on purpose. He didn't want to be in arm reach of me.
I am your friend, Chris, your host, also Chris, and your Lord. No, I'm not going to say that. Lord and Savior. No, that's.
I thought that was Jason.
I am my own religion. And in the studio with me, as always, tolerating my stupidity,
Sybil.
Billy DeTore.
Oh, hi.
Tanya Metris. I'm moving up to it. This is a big thing
I know,
here.
But you said tolerating your stupidity.
She's been doing that all weekend.
I'm sorry, Sybil.
All right, so Billy, Tanya, intern Tony is in the room
back.
today. The return of the Tony. And in
when
studio.
When did we rehire him?
Huh?
When did we rehire him?
Oh, probably
You
about 5
didn't.
seconds after we fired him. Oh,
You didn't.
He's on the perpetually hire list. It's all good. It's like one of those circuit breaker switches. Whenever a certain amount of voltage it pops, but then resets itself, kind of thing. It's like we fire him and it just pops. He just
I'm a charge of Z.
When he starts looking for his red swing line stapler, we're in trouble.
Where is my red line swing?
I
Stapler?
think you got my stapler. And in the studio with us for the second time in history, her ladyship, the box office goddess herself, Sybil Corbin. Let's say it all together now.
Sybil.
Wow. And we can't forget.
On the phone with us is the lovely and talented Deanna Schulmerich.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hola. All right.
She's like trying to going.
That was the longest introduction sequence I think I've done yet, Billy.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for that's the show.
That's the show for
That's
today.
the show.
Wait, no, we're just kidding.
I couldn't get to the Benny Hill music fast.
Good luck, Mr. Gorski. All right.
There you go.
Just for closure.
This has been a Mighty Monkey production. Okay, wait.
Just kidding.
So what are we doing today? We're going to talk about the show some more. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the show and really kind of giving our listeners a once-over as to what the 2017 Flower City Comic-Con is going to look like. We talked about the panels. We talked about the video games. Or no, not video games. Help me out here. Vendor floor, the VIPs, and my brain just decided to completely shut down right now. And you're all staring at me.
Every other cool thing
And every
happening.
other freaking cool. I mean, the podcast itself was something like 52 minutes long, and we don't feel like we talked about everything that was going to be on at the convention.
Because it's like just the vendor floor itself.
Yeah.
You know, we've got certain vendors. I think there was a rumor. I can just say that it's a rumor that they're going to bring in a video game to do like
that's what I was thinking of.
Tournaments throughout
mini
the day.
tournaments. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
I think Mark Miller,
If
I'm right.
And
Which 9 times out of 10 I am. But.
So as we get closer to Flower City Comic-Con 2017, this is our platform. So what we're going to do is start talking a little bit more about the show so you understand what you're going to be getting yourselves into so that you understand who's going to be there and give you, the listener, an opportunity when you become a ticket holder and a listener, which is a good combination to be. You're going to know what you're going to be looking for. You're going to know what's going to be going on there. You know the who's who, and hopefully build a little excitement along the way so we can really kind of show you what we've got in store for you.
I just had a thought.
Uh-oh.
Should we do a live podcast from the Flower City Comic.
That would be wild. I think we could
That
have.
would be
That would be a lot of fun.
I don't know
to do.
how yet because we can't bring everybody attending the convention up here.
Well,
but-
yeah. Dan has been working on a portable setup.
Okay.
And so hopefully we'll be able to get that set up in one of the panel rooms, and maybe we can do a recording of Monkey Business while we're there. I gotta find some
I say
space
we
in the
do
panel.
it, Sunday afternoon at like 4:00. That could be real interesting.
Well, that's going to depend on the calendar itself because I know around.
How about
Tell me, Tanya. Talk to me.
Friday night launch party?
The Friday night lunch
For
party.
about 30 minutes.
We'll do the podcasting there.
That'd be fun.
We could do that.
Then we all
That's
can
a
have drinks at that point. Just to gear up the weekend.
But,
Yay, I can have a little mini soda or something.
But
Yes.
I can find some room in the panel schedule for that too, so we can actually do it during the weekend
I'm
itself.
sorry to put you on the spot. It just
No, that's
occurred to
cool.
me and-
I have to write that.
So how many things do
gonna write
we
that down.
need to do a live podcast that day?
Well, you'd need microphones and
That I
to
think we're
actually
going to have.
broadcast. Is it possible to broadcast it? We'll do it over Facebook Live.
Yeah, we can do.
Okay, that
there
we
you
can
go.
do.
We can have
There
some.
you go.
I'm
Good
playing
job,
footsie
Billy.
with Tony over here.
Was he enjoying it?
I don't think so. He's giggling though, but that's a good sign.
I'm winning.
He's winning.
Footsie, that means he's trying to take you out at the ankles.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we have the mixing board, we have the thing to record it, we have microphones, so we can get that up and running.
Hold on, my Avengers theme's ringing.
There's somebody calling. Podcasting at.
Live. Hello.
I can't talk to you right now. I'm recording.
Hello. You're live on the air. Go
Okay,
ahead.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Chattanooga. You're on with Morgan Fairchild.
That was my mother. She didn't realize what day it was. She's like, okay, I'll call you later.
Meanwhile, Billy's channeling his inner Larry King. That's
Well,
phenomenal.
You didn't hear the Avengers ringtone going
I didn't.
off?
These are really good headphones.
They are good headphones.
If
If I
it-
hadn't looked down, I
Yeah.
probably would have.
Yeah,
Too
that's.
bad she wasn't FaceTiming me.
Was that Mom?
Yes, it was Mom.
It's Mama Robin.
Yes.
Rockin' Robin. Tweet.
I wonder what
All
it's
right.
like in Florida today.
I don't care. I'm
Yes.
jealous. That's
Warm and with
we're
power.
Actually, we just had the massive windstorm. Just to put things in perspective for the folks who are listening, you may be listening to this a couple weeks down the road, but
So if you had power,
if
yay.
you had power, congratulations. If you didn't have power, I hope they resolved it quickly. But we had a windstorm locally. It was almost natural disaster level proportions.
If only
the
Florida had hurricanes.
I know, seriously.
Gusts got up to like a Cat 1 categorization.
Yeah.
81
Cat
miles
1
per
hurricane.
hour at the
Yeah.
airport.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're getting word that we're about to get hit with 8 to 15 inches of snow over the next couple of days.
Yay,
So
nor'easter.
And I'm leaving.
So if the trees
Lucky
weren't
you.
weak enough, maybe it'll
Oh, yeah.
take down those final ones that were standing up
Exactly, those
against the wind.
stragglers.
Maybe it'll actually take down my pool.
Yeah, you've got an infinity pool now, don't you?
At
Because
least
most
on
of the ridge
one-
rail's gone.
Well, only on 1/3
Arc.
of it.
Just call it arc.
Like 2 or 3 of the top rails and the support thing, because we had the rope tied to the support, and when the wind whipped the cover, it pulled and snapped.
Did you find your cover?
Yeah, half of it was still in the pool.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, the cover.
That's good.
You know what? If the cover went bye-bye, the cover went bye-bye.
The common joke at our office was that the roof of Greece Arcadia High School
Yes.
decided it wanted to transfer to Greece Olympia.
Yeah.
They probably, yeah.
Well, the one at Sutherland wanted to go to Mendon then because they have roof damage too.
Oh yeah, I mean that was
yeah.
just brutal.
I heard Roth in Henrietta still has no power.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So we don't know what.
I still don't have power.
But you had a generator working, didn't you? For a little bit?
Our generator was working up until this morning when it
Oops.
died.
Oops.
Crying face.
Yikes. All right.
Well,
On that happy and pious note,
We're hoping for May
Wow.
not to have any.
this has been a Mighty Monkey production.
We're hoping for May
Yikes.
not to have any natural
No,
windstorm
May
disaster.
tends to be-
However, your costumes won't get ruined because you can park in the South Ave
Oh, absolutely.
garage and walk over the Skyway, that type of thing. So
Yeah, that's what-
you don't have to worry about the rain. And
For those of you who are not familiar with the way downtown is laid out, as Tanya was saying, that there is the South Avenue parking garage, which is built on and attached to the Hyatt Hotel. Why is that significant? Well, the Hyatt and the garage have a Skyway bridge, which is completely enclosed to the convention center. So everything is all enclosed. You can park in the South Ave garage and have access to the Hyatt and the and the convention center, and even through the Skyway map, you can go even further across the bridge to the Radisson Hotel. So if you're coming in from out of town, you have plenty of opportunities to basically be indoors all weekend long, so that you don't have to worry about the weather. You don't have to worry about your costume, and there are some people who had horror stories that they had to park in a particular location walk to the convention center itself, and in the
It was
process,
pouring.
something has happened and they damage their costume or whatnot. So you do not have that worry here for Flower City Comic Con because we have got you covered, literally. See, you like how I did that? You like how I tied that all together? Come on, that was
Do we
clever.
have,
What a
like,
dad joke.
Hold on.
Oh,
Let
yeah,
me pull up a rim
come
shot.
So he has to
Let me
have
pull
at
up a
least
rim shot.
At least they have to have those ready. But for all seriousness, what are we doing today?
What are we doing today? We're going to talk a bit. In the past, we've talked about the show, and like we said earlier in this particular podcast, the rundown of basically the entire convention in general was like almost 50 minutes, 51 minutes, something long, that podcast. Today, we're going to spend a little bit more time just talking about the VIPs themselves. Instead of a cursory glance, and this is Tanya's area because Tanya is our VIP liaison.
We got a lot of cool people coming, don't we?
We do have a ton
Oh
of
my
cool
God.
people coming.
Yeah.
One of them actually,
Including
the announcement.
the agent.
Yes, including the agent who helped us hook it all up.
Really cool.
It's not the agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but he's a cool agent
No.
nonetheless. There we go.
And Chris is underneath the table now.
Bye, Chris.
Okay, so
That's awesome. I love you. I really do. I love you, Billy. I love you so much. All right, here we go.
who are we talking about first?
Let's talk about, we'll go right to
We're going to go right to one of your top fandoms.
yeah, we'll get it out of the way just because,
Because you have to talk.
well, I am. I'm the host, so therefore I get to make these calls. We're picking off the top of the list, Colin Baker.
Woohoo!
And Colin's claim to fame, he's been an actor in English cinema and TV for a long, long time, but his big claim to fame is being the 6th of the 13 Doctors, well, 12 and a half, I suppose we'll call it, and soon to be 13. The 6th Doctor, and he was the Doctor in the 80s, towards the getting towards the end of the run of the classic series. He was the Doctor that had the nutsoid coat. He had the coat that was like a Technicolor yawn all over the place. It was Joseph in the Technicolor dream coat, up an order of magnitude.
Okay, up
Colin-
on your Doctor Who trivia. Don't look at my screen.
Okay, I'm not gonna look at your screen.
Do you happen to know what his nickname is?
His nickname, Sawbones Hex.
No.
No, because I know
It
that's
happens to be
his Twitter handle.
Billy's favorite comics.
Batman.
Not that one.
Okay.
The other one.
DC?
Archie.
Archie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's his nickname is
That's
Archie.
His nickname is Archie.
So okay, so like for me, I'm Christopher. My nickname is Chris. So Colin Baker's nickname is Archie.
Archie. I don't know how they get that, but
That's
what.
what. Okay,
there's
there's a bit of trivia. I don't
I'm gonna have more
encourage
trivia in a
I don't
minute.
encourage our listeners to walk up to him and go, "Hey Archie, how you doing?" Because that might be a little awkward.
What are you doing, you dingbat?
Yeah. Edith. And Billy and I just dated ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that I wouldn't mind dating you. I have a new toy.
Any more toys?
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Billy DeTore wins the podcast. I you know what? There it is. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. Okay. So, what is Tanya? You've got the list in front of you. What are some of the other things that Colin Baker could be known for?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, hold on. She says to me.
Well,
yeah.
I was in the biography.
The biography. Tanya is a high school teacher.
I was with the biography.
who loves long walks on the beach. And,
I was reading his
and
I
tequila
teach
sunrises.
math. Shh. Don't mention anything about me being an English major, but I teach math.
No, we won't say anything about you being an English major
Yeah.
who teaches math.
No.
We're not going to say anything about that at all.
Okay, he's known for
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, of course. He has been in a ton of things.
He was recently in Vic Mignogna's Star Trek Continues series on YouTube and a variety of things. I know that he played a good part, and Vic was extremely happy because I remember talking to Vic many years ago. He said, "I just want to get one of the Doctor Who actors on Star Trek Continues. That'd be a great thing to have."
Oh, he's been voices on video games or videos. He was in a TV series called The Knock.
Okay, yeah, and there's a lot of British television that he's been in, and he's been a character actor for a very long time. He had a bit part in Doctor Who during the 5th Doctor series. I can't remember what it's called, Arc of Infinity, I think. And so to have him come around and succeed Peter Davison as the Doctor was kind of cool to see that happen.
Have you seen Doctor Who Real Time?
Doctor Who Real Time? No, I've heard of it, but I have not seen it
It's a
myself.
TV miniseries.
Is
in
it?
2002.
Oh, well, something to look into.
Yeah, that's kind of
All right.
interesting.
So Colin has been star of
there it is.
stage and
Star Trek
screen.
continues.
Yeah,
They
star of
found it.
stage and screen for a very long time now at this point, and he will be at the Flower City Comic Con both Saturday and Sunday, signing autographs, taking pictures, exchanging stories. He's going to have a big panel on our combo panel room on Saturday afternoon. When I say the combo panel room, we've got panel rooms 1 and 2. They're right next to each other. They're split up by a retracting folding wall. And for Colin's panel and his cohort of crime on the VIP line, Bruce Boxleitner, we're going to combine those rooms to make sure that everybody has plenty of space to sit and see the guests together, so that we don't have a standing room only effect.
Will we be able to have Sybil get out of the box office to come and?
I'm working on that.
Check
Yeah, I'm going to
that
make
out.
sure that schedule is
I need to escape at least at some point.
Yeah, we're going to let you out of the box office this time. I promise. I swear. I promise. Even if I have to go in there myself and stand there going, I don't know what I'm doing. I will.
Calling and begging this time. Just
No
so
calling
I
and
can,
begging.
Get food.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We'll do that. We're going
Just
to
like
make sure.
sleep, food is overrated.
What reality do you live in?
Well, sleep was overrated, wasn't it?
Well, it's an insomniac.
It's all just overrated,
Yeah.
So anyway, Colin Baker is going to be one of our first guests. The next that we're going to talk about will be Bruce Boxleitner.
Okay, let me change my.
Change your monitor over there so we can see Bruce.
Oh, that's not Bruce.
That's not Bruce.
That's one later on. Okay, there's Bruce.
Most folks will remember him from his tour of duty on Babylon 5 as Captain John Sheridan. And then eventually President Sheridan. And I know if Wayne were here, he would be talking at length about that because Bab 5 is his thing. But he's also, again, this is a man who has been that face. He's like the Kevin Bacon type of face where he's been in everything. He, Tron and
Scarecrow, Mrs. King.
Yes.
Scarecrow, Mrs.
And
King.
he's back on NCIS now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot he had a reoccurring
Vice
character.
Admiral Clifford Chase.
Ooh, that's a very strong
I
name.
just started watching NCIS within the last week.
And did you start from the very beginning?
I did start from the
All right,
very
well,
beginning.
It's a fantastic show.
It
Oh
is.
my
It's
God,
a great
can I
show,
tell
but
you
it's
how
going to
much
take you
I love
forever to
Mark
catch up to it.
Yes.
I've got April break coming up pretty soon. I can binge. I got through how many seasons of Doctor Who over a February break?
That's true.
Yes.
That is true.
It's just a matter of will my kid find me or not.
Yes, they're good at that.
Yes. At least one of us.
But yeah, Bruce is. How
Oh
long
my
has
God.
Bruce been in the industry? What's one of his earliest credits?
Well, one of the things I remember him for was
the Mary
was
Tyler
the,
Moore Show.
All right, you were saying D?
The Kenny Rogers Gambler movies.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. Was he in those really?
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
I see him on
He's
an
also one of the things, I don't know if it's on his bio. I think he's into horses, and he's an avid horseman.
Oh yeah, I've seen that because he was in a lot of westerns early on, so
Yeah.
he became very good, a good rider, good in the saddle, as they say in the equestrian circuit.
It looks like he had a TV show for 3 years called How the West Was Won.
Yes, I just.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
He was on that.
I
Oh,
remember
wow.
See,
watching that.
that's the kind of guy Bruce is.
Yeah.
Is that you'll bring a credit up from like when we were little kids, and you're like, oh yeah, that happened.
Well, he was in a TV movie, Wyatt Earp, Return to Tombstone.
I remember that one.
I think my dad was into that
Gunsmoke?
series.
Your dad was in the series.
Into that series.
Okay, I was going to say. I'm like, have you been
Your
holding?
dad is a guest.
Have you been holding out on me, Tony?
Did your dad play Festus?
My dad was the TV show.
Cletus.
Well, he must be a big Western type person because there's a Louis L'Amour TV movie. Mm-hmm. And isn't Louis L'Amour a lot of
He wrote
Western?
Westerns, yeah.
Yeah, that was his thing.
Bring Him Back Alive? What's that?
Oh, that definitely has a Western sound to it.
Hold on, let me check it.
We're gonna check it out.
No, Great White Hunter who works out of the Raffles Hotel Bar in Singapore in the 1930s fighting all kinds of bad guys in pre-war Malaya.
Oh boy, that sounds.
That doesn't
interesting
sound like
setting.
a Western.
Does not sound like a Western. Does not sound like a kind of place I'd like to go on vacation.
It sounds
honestly.
like honestly, it sounds like a Western, but like an Asian Western.
Could be.
Okay, so instead of a spaghetti Western, it's a sushi Western.
Yes.
Okay.
Wasn't the spaghetti Westerns in Italy?
Yeah, that was my point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Although he did play...
I'm looking at his IMDb. Do you guys remember the show Heroes?
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
I loved Heroes.
Loved
He
Heroes.
was on 3 episodes in Heroes.
Oh, right there it is.
What part did he play? Do you remember? Because I only saw most of the first
Robert
season.
Robert Malden.
I don't know
Oh
who that is.
yeah.
He was
But he shows up in everything.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, The Second Coming, Chapter 2, The Butterfly Effect, and Chapter 3, Acceptance for Heroes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow. He was also on Hawaii Five-0, Beretta, and Policewoman from the 70s.
And that's the original Hawaii Five-0,
Yes.
not the remake
Yeah,
that's been on
that's
for a
the
few years
original.
now. That's wild.
Man.
He hung out with Jack Lord.
So this is a huge personality to have on the line. I'm
He's
telling
got
you,
a long list of credits.
there's going to be some interesting
And
conversations there.
What's Cedar Cove?
I'm
It
assuming
was on
it's
the Hallmark Channel.
Oh.
which is why I didn't see it.
Yeah, no.
Chances
That's
are
why it's on.
my
Did you catch-
mother-in-law would have watched
Did you
it.
catch that though?
Yeah.
That Tanya and I
Yeah.
went, oh, at the same time.
You know what? I think I've seen that because my mom was also into Hallmark movies.
Okay.
Let me just guess here. I have a feeling that it follows the professional and personal life of municipal court judge Olivia Lockhart
Yeah.
and the
boy.
surrounding town folks of Cedar Cove. That's just a guess.
That's a
With
guess.
Andy McDowell?
Yeah. And
Yes.
she's like
That's
a
a-
lawyer, I think.
That's a hell of a
Isn't
guess.
she like
too.
a lawyer? I think she's a lawyer.
Yeah.
His powers, Billy's powers are infinite.
It's just a guess.
Not that we don't have the computers up in front of us.
What's a computer?
Something that people might not have had this week.
So, and these guests, among others, and among other parts of the show, we have sponsors now.
We do.
We are starting to collect sponsors, and that's an amazing thing. We got a lot of people who are signing on and very excited to see us get this thing together. And the first sponsor that I'm going to talk about today is Selena's Mexican restaurant in the Village Gate Mall.
Yay!
I happened to be there yesterday.
Yeah, we've all been to Selena's at one point or another. How about you, Tony? Have you been there?
I don't think I have,
All right.
but
He's fired.
I
You
think
gotta
I have
go.
to go.
We'll fix that soon enough. If you're into Mexican food, this is definitely a great place to be. Aaron and Kelly, the owners, awesome folks, very helpful, very cool. And Aaron's got a great story. I mean, didn't he start as basically like a busboy or a cleanup guy at Selena's?
He started as a dishwasher and worked from a dishwasher into the kitchen staff, into the wait staff. Ended up becoming the general manager, and then eventually him and his wife bought the restaurant. I think maybe 4 years ago, 5
Okay.
years ago, something like that.
That's just a hell of a story.
It is.
That's
It's
outstanding.
awesome. And Kelly was on the wait staff there also.
That's how they
and-
met, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So Aaron and Kelly Metris, the owners and proprietors of the Selena's Mexican restaurant, sponsors of the Flower City Comic Con,
They are.
and
For the
highly
second year.
recommended for the second year in a row now, and highly recommended by staff, not just because they're being nice to us, but because they really are. There's some quality people and some great stuff going on over there. So go to Selena's if you're in town, and if you're not in town, come to town and then go to Selena's. So that's how it works out. All right, we're going to move on the list. We have. When you have a comic book convention, this is what Brian was saying during when we were talking about the show, the last podcast. When you have a comic book convention, you have to have comic books. And we do. And we do that in spades. And we have a ton of artists coming. We have vendors coming with comic books. We have artists and writers and all sorts of things going on. And we have a living legend in the comic book world coming to see us this year, and that is Larry Hama. All right. And Larry, let me get this on so I make sure I get this right here. Larry was an actor for a long time. He's actually seen in minor roles TV show MASH, Saturday Night Live. He appeared in Broadway in 2 roles in the original 1976 production of Stephen Sondheim's Pacific Overtures. But he's best known to American comic book fans as a writer and editor for Marvel Comics. He was behind the licensed comic book G.I. Joe, the Real American
Great
Hero,
American Hero.
based on the Hasbro toy line. He's also written for the series Wolverine, Infman, the Ultimate Ninja, and Elektra. And he created the character Bucky O'Hare, which was developed into a comic book and a toy line and a television cartoon. So this guy's been around for a while. He's done a lot. And from what I'm being told by some of my insider guys, he has been writing G.I. Joe again. So he's back at it where he started from. So this fellow's been in the industry for a while. His art is amazing. And you are going to, my dear listener, who shall become a ticket holder, you are going to get a chance to meet Larry Hama and get a chance to talk to him and see him in action and ask him for autographs and all sorts of good stuff. Now, you see the list there. Excuse me. What are some of the other things he's worked on?
X-Men, Spider-Man.
I was just looking. I noticed his comic book work goes back to the 70s, where he was part of Wonder Woman, the Super Friends.
Wow.
Comic book, the Welcome Back Kotter comic book.
Welcome
Oh my
back.
God, I remember that.
Yes.
Oh, my God. That's awesome.
So that makes me happy. I think I actually have an old Welcome Back Kotter comic book.
Really?
I may come.
You're
Oh,
going to have
Billy.
to go digging.
he may punch me if I bring it.
Nah, I doubt it.
Where did you
I've
get
noticed-
this? I've been trying to get rid of this for years.
I've been trying to bury this memory for ages.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that's cool. I mean, we've got stars of stage, screen, and comic book cover, and now we're going to move on a little bit. We're going to move on towards voice acting. We have a couple of voice actors I wanted to bring up, and I was going to talk about one in particular, but Tanya brought the other one up, so we'll go with him first. Go with Tom Kane.
Woo! I couldn't see your list.
That's all right. I don't even see my list. I'm not wearing my bifocals today because I'm old. Tom Kane, who he's a legend in the voice acting community. He has done a ton of work for Star Wars series, Clone Wars, Rebels, video games. He's done Powerpuff Girls. Excuse me.
Archer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's been on Archer and the Eric Andre show, which I've only just recently heard about for the first time. So seeing that on the list.
That's really subversive.
Yes.
Eric Andre is amazing.
It's kind of funny.
He was in the Smurfs.
Narrator Smurf. Yes, the Smurfs too.
I was about to say, I hope he wasn't a jokey Smurf.
The great thing about Tom...
Because Jokey had the worst jokes ever. A blowing, explosive
Chris?
thing, just not funny.
The great thing about Tom is his main character in Star Wars, Clone Wars. I went right past that. He does some subtle voices. He's the voice of Yoda in Star Wars, Clone Wars. And he does a great subtle take on it. So you really do, he's channeling his Frank Oz there. But then he's got this great booming voice that he uses. In one of his characters in Star Wars: The Old Republic MMO is this assault droid, M4X, and it's just this over-enthusiastic, glorified soldier. He's like, "Oh yes, this is wonderful. I am the great vocoder of freedom." He's that over-the-top personality, and Tom brings that thing to life. And it's just, I love that character.
It really speaks to the range of his voice.
Yes,
it's wonderful.
Absolutely does. I mean, this man can hit anything. It's
Ben 10, Kim Possible.
What did he play in? Kim Possible was one of my favorite shows watching over the kid's
Lord
shoulder.
Monkey Fist.
All right. Yes.
In
I
the
can hear it now.
American Star Maker Judge.
I can hear it now. That's
and
awesome.
Looking at his credits in Robot Chicken and in a couple others, he tends to do a very good Morgan Freeman, I see.
Yes.
So.
Hopefully we can get him to do. I heard somebody was actually getting him to do a Morgan Freeman impression at a convention, so I want to see if I can get him to do that again. That'd be fun to listen
Another
to.
series I loved, The Wild Thornberries.
Oh, that was a great series.
That was a good TV show.
That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. I remember the big Wild Thornberries movie. I still have that on DVD.
I remember the Rugrats crossover movie.
Yep.
I have
because
that
they were
on
the same
VHS.
same animation house.
He was Darwin.
Yeah.
Hey, two things I just noticed he did.
What?
He did Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings video game.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the current announcer doing the narration on the Walt Disney World monorail system.
Oh, yeah. Oh, awesome. That's great. Oh, that's fun. See, I mean, that's the thing. Star Wars Disney is now a Disney property, so he is just going to be a natural fit into that particular house there, the Mouse House.
He was in Johnny Bravo.
Oh, cool.
If there was a cool cartoon from the 90s and early 2000s,
Do the monkey with me.
he was involved.
Team Knight Rider.
What?
Was he the voice of the car?
No, Dante.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
What
It
was
was
that?
a TV series from 97 to 98.
Hasselhoff could never let go, huh?
Oh,
I won't let go, Hasselhoff. I won't let go.
I don't think it was him.
Blub, blub,
He
blub.
also did Wolverine and the X-Men.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I can see that. I could definitely see that. That's awesome.
I don't know what Dante was. But...
So Tom is definitely going to be there with all of his multiple personalities and voices. Again, autographs and picture-taking opportunities and panels. Do we have the panel schedule on hand by any chance?
No.
No. So just say no.
I put my hands out. Nope.
Yeah, because
Not
our
on
listeners
hand.
can see your hand gestures. Yeah.
I'm here all day.
Yeah, we're not doing Facebook Live at the moment. We're
No,
doing
that's
actual
probably a good
podcasting.
thing.
How can you not see her voice?
College kids. Oh, God. All right, so we're moving on. So we've got Colin Baker, we got Bruce Boxleitner, we got Larry Hama, we got Tom Kane. And then next on our hit parade of fun of things to talk to.
Go back before.
We're going to go back to Tom Kane real quick.
Back into the early 90s, the Might and Magic video games.
Really? So it's one of his earliest credits? The
Yeah.
Might and Magic?
Yes.
World of Zine.
As Tom Keane, Keane.
Okay. Well, I wonder if we've been mispronouncing his name.
I don't know.
Huh?
But it says Kane up at the top.
Okay. Raising Cain.
I'm still just in awe about
That is a
everything
long
that
list.
he's
There's a
done.
very long list of things that he has been involved in. I mean, there's not a lot
He was
that
the
he has
voice
not
of
touched.
Odin in Thor: God of Thunder video game.
Nice.
I remember that game.
He was the announcer of the 84th Annual Academy Awards and the 83rd Annual Academy
He's got
Awards.
seriously, he's got the voice for it. He really does. I mean, it's very recognizable.
I clicked another tab where, in the IMDb where it says self.
Uh-huh.
Oh, let's see where he played himself. And turns out he played himself in the Academy Awards.
There's a lot.
That is. He's been himself. Not a lot of actors can say that.
The Star Wars Comic-Con 09 spectacular TV movie.
Ooh. Which one was that? What is that?
The Star Wars Comic-Con 09 spectacular,
Oh, boy.
where he played himself.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Actors who play themselves. There's an entirely different industry where they play with themselves, but that's another story entirely.
He was the narrator on a TV series.
No. Just no.
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 Okay, I think we've gotten over this.
Are we moving on now?
moving on? No.
Moving on up to the next person on the list. There we go.
Okay.
Next on our hit parade of fun, Trina
Not as many.
Nishimura. Now, this name may not be very recognizable to a lot of people, but for anime kids, this is going to be a big one for you. For folks who have wandered around in those brown jackets with the cool symbols on them, representing your favorite warriors on Attack on Titan, this one's going to be familiar to you. Because Trina Nishimura's biggest claim to fame, I mean, she's been in a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the list right now. Her list is almost as long as Tom Kane's. But one of her biggest claim to fames in the area right now is the character of Mikasa in Attack on Titan, which Attack on Titan is finally getting a second season soon.
Yes.
It's in production at this time.
They have Attack on Titan TV series, and then they have Attack on Titan Junior High.
The junior high. Because
the
the one thing I've noticed about anime is that the only way to save the world is if you're like a teenager.
Yes.
You know, adults don't save the world anymore.
You have
it's
to
all,
be between the
kids.
ages of 10 and 25 at the oldest.
oh, it's the oldest.
I
the
can
20.
no longer save the world.
No, you can no longer save the world. Sybil is getting ready to have a birthday.
I'm right
It's going
in-
to take her right out of the range.
Right out of the range.
Tanya and I have long since
I've been out of that range for 20 years.
We retired a long time from the world saving business.
I'm right in the middle of saving the world, guys.
There he goes.
It's awesome.
Tony is still ready to save the world once or twice. He's got his shovel, a bag of
Yeah.
rock salt. He's ready to go.
It's awesome.
The ice giants are coming, Tony. The ice giants are coming. Anyway.
I got my shovel. We're good.
So, Trina Nishimura, Mikasa, Attack on Titan. That's
Also, the newest one
Mm-hmm.
is Yuri on Ice.
which I know is a big one that people have been talking about.
I'm probably going to butcher this, and I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The character of Kinjiro Minami.
Okay.
So I'm sorry if I
Minami. You got it. That was
I
cool.
butchered it.
That was cool. You did it. Kinjiro Minami.
Minami.
Say that 5 times fast.
No.
I'm sure if other interns
that.
were on here, they'd correct you.
Yes, I'm sure.
And then I would have to fire them for correcting one of them. No, just kidding.
No.
Just kidding.
They're very helpful, our interns.
Wait, I think I've actually seen reference to Tokyo Ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one.
yeah.
Tokyo
What are some of the other ones she's been in?
Ghost in the Shell, the new movie.
Right.
Tokyo Ghoul Route A.
Now, the Ghost in the Shell, is okay.
The
I see
Scarlett
it.
Johansson I've been seeing the trailers for.
Yeah.
No,
It
No,
started,
this is the.
it's a new
it
anime.
started off
animated.
as an anime, and
Yeah.
then it came west, and Hollywood decided to make a movie out of it.
Okay. So, the Ghost in the Shell that Trina's involved in is another anime. The one that Scarlett Johansson's about to star in is an actual live action.
That is based on the movie is based on the anime.
The anime. Okay. Which we figured, but that's cool. I know I've seen
Just
the,
as clarification.
She's
in-
in the English version.
in the Scarlett Johansson trailers, I've seen how they've been like ripping scenes right out of the original anime.
Yeah.
You know, like visual for visual. So I think that's kind of
Busting through the glass.
right. Coming out of the water, the skydive,
Yeah.
all that stuff. That's kind of cool stuff.
It's really awesome.
And in the English version of Senran Kagura.
Senran Kagura. And scroll down. Give me something. Another.
I thought that said Ben 10, but it's actually
Bento.
Bento.
Bento in his box. Bento box. Anyway.
No.
No. And Fairy Tale, which I know is another common
yeah.
because my kids have watched that on a couple of vacations. She was
Full
in that.
Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Full.
That is
okay.
a big
Nice.
one.
That is a very big
That was
one.
a big one.
Yeah.
That was from 09 to 2010.
What's one of her oldest credits? Go to the bottom of that list. Let's find out how long she's been in the industry now.
1998, Detective Conan, the 14th Target.
See, so we got
She's
people who
young,
know
though.
their stuff. She's a young girl. She's been in it since she was a teenager, I think. That's basically what it is. But again, people, we're getting the folks who know the business. We're not just flashing the pan in here. We're not getting somebody who has 3-4 credits in their name. We're finding folks who know the industry, have been in the industry, are masters of their particular crafts, and are looking forward to sharing that with you.
Yeah, I think she was 15 when she did her first one, if I'm figuring it out right. Mm-hmm. Remember, I'm a math teacher. 83 to 98 is only 15, right?
What's that?
83 to 98 is only 15, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, I've been off for 3 days. 5 days. I haven't been doing any math.
Do you need a calculator?
Maybe.
Okay. So that's just a rundown. Colin Baker, Bruce Boxleitner, Larry Hama, Trina Nishimura, Tom Kane, and next on the list of Hit Parade of Fun will be Terry Malloy. Because you had the screen. I'm just going off of what you're going off my list. I'm going off of what you put on the computer screen in front of me. Terry Malloy. Now, again, this is not a name that is going to be highly recognizable to a lot of people. But for fans to put this in perspective, his list of credits is just as long as everybody else's. This is a character actor from England who has been involved in just about everything. And one of the ones that we're bringing him in on is the fact that he was the voice and half the body of Davros, the creator of the Daleks, and he did that in the tail end of the classic series. So he was in the 80s, basically through most of the 80s and early 90s, he was Davros, the creator of the Daleks, for Doctor Who. And so it's going to be fun having him on stage with Colin so they can go back and forth with each other like they used to do back in the old days. Terry is coming to us, by the way, courtesy of Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey. And that's an outfit that's bringing in some props for photo opportunities. And they're being very generous. They're helping us bring Terry in for the weekend. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And a big ups to Heather from Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey for doing that for us. That's a huge thing. We really appreciate it. All right, so.
Hey, you
go
want
ahead,
a little trivia about Terry Malloy?
Tell me a little trivia about Terry Malloy.
Back in the 60s, he played baritone sax in a soul band.
Okay.
It was called the T. Buncombe Band, and they appeared at the Cavern Club in Liverpool.
In Liverpool, huh?
Do you know what the Cavern Club?
Oh,
yeah.
You're not asking me, are you?
I think Billy knows this answer.
Oh, sure. The Cavern Club is where the Beatles played before they became famous.
So he's played on the same stage as the Beatles before the Beatles got big, is basically what's being said right now. That is outstanding. That is so cool. Now, is the Cavern Club, Billy, just to kind of go off the path a little bit, was that kind of like the CBGBs of Liverpool?
Yeah, it was a place where bands like them would play. Just a little hole-in-the-wall club. And legend has it that at the time, Brian Epstein, who would become the Beatles' manager, ran a record store, and someone came in and asked if they had a new Beatles record. So he went and checked them out at the Cavern Club, and that was it.
And the rest is history at this point.
History, yeah.
That gives me chills. I love stories like that.
It looked like he took some time from his first TV series to his second one. It was like 16 years in between.
Well, was he more of a musician than an actor, I would assume?
Well, yeah, that's what he was doing in the 60s.
Give me just a second. I'm going to see if I can find any T. Buncombe Band on YouTube.
Nice.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm not even sure how to spell the T. Buncombe Band.
The internet is a wild and woolly place to play. Tony, are you old enough to be on the internet?
I don't know. It's a big and scary place.
It's a big and scary place full of frightening things and
he's
and slash fiction.
Filming a movie right now, and there's another project that's in pre-production.
Okay, so these people are still active to this day. I mean, they're moving and grooving and performing their trades.
He did a short Tale of the Time Lord.
Okay, yeah, I remember that they were doing that at about the time to celebrate the 50th.
Oh, one other suggestion: Marlon Brando's character in On the Waterfront, was named Terry Malloy.
Oh, really?
So just go up and say,
wow.
"Hey, Marlon.
Hey, Marlon.
Can I have your autograph, Mr. Brando?"
And if it goes right over his head, you'll know you're in the inn. You know stuff.
But I can't find any T. Buncombe Band. So
that's all right. Well,
it's okay.
It was an admirable and valiant attempt. So here we are. We have Colin Baker, Bruce Boxleitner, Larry Hama, Trina Nishimura, Tom Kane, Terry Malloy. Who is next on the hit parade of fun? What's the tab that Tanya is going to tab next? It's Joe Jusko. Joe is awesome. Joe was at Flower City Comic Con 16. So I got a chance to meet him and talk to him for a little bit.
He's so nice.
He's
cool.
just a great guy. Now, for those of you who are not in the know, who's Joe Jusko? Well, Joe Jusko is one of the preeminent comic book artists out there.
He's painter for Marvel Comics.
Yep.
Just amazing artwork.
Absolutely. And he's done a lot of cover illustrations for the industry. One of the things they know from the most of the 1992 Marvel Masterpiece trading cards he was involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think he had a new set of cards coming out last year as part of not as part of the Flower City Comic Con.
no, he was talking about it.
soon thereafter.
And Joe is, I believe, if Brian can correct me when he hears this later, but I believe he's actually one of the people behind the cover for our program this year. Am I right on that one? Or am I off? No, I'm sorry.
He's doing a special print.
He's doing a special print. That's what it is. Ken Wheaton's doing our cover.
Speaking of that, weren't we supposed to call Brian?
I don't think so. I think because he's busy with the boys, I thought.
He says that you would have to call him, or maybe not.
All right.
Maybe I missed.
Well, we'll get him in for console gaming when we talk about that later today.
So we can get a couple of his kids in for console gaming.
That's true. That's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah, okay.
Anything's possible. Because with this setup, with these people on this organization, the sky is the limit.
Oh, you've heard the smoothness of this broadcast.
I thought the moon. Chris, I thought the moon was the limit.
You know, I got to be honest, Billy. The more I listen to how we screw things up and have a good time doing it, I think we
better the podcast.
I think we would actually
one.
be successful on regular broadcast radio. I really do. I think we would have a good time.
There's enough money in that.
No, I don't think so either. But we would have a good time doing it nonetheless. All right, so yeah, Joe Jusko, and Joe is coming to us courtesy of one of our other sponsors. So I'm going to start talking about sponsors now that we have them.
Woo woo!
And that would be the gentleman. And I use that term loosely, fellas, of First Print Comics over on Buffalo Road. First Print's been a big supporter of Flower City Comic Con since we got things going. They helped us put together all of our comic book row and a lot of the stuff for the 16 show. They're stepping up huge for the 17 show. The relationship we've built with these guys has just been really impressive, and they know their stuff. They're really quality folks. So if you ever get a chance to say, hey, I have never collected comic books, or it's been ages, I should probably look into it. Who should I go to? You're going to say First Print Comics. Sybil's staring at me like, why are you talking to me about this stuff?
I've actually bought supplies from them. It's quality.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where I should go to get my first comics?
There you go.
Yeah.
Your first comic should come from First Print. See how that works?
Yeah,
No.
clever. Oh, you want one now. Everybody wants a rim shot now.
My first comic from First Print?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not funny.
Great.
The fruit is just way too low.
Yeah. It's touching the ground. All right. Where are we? What am I doing? What is the meaning of life?
We're talking about guests.
What is the meaning of life?
42.
42, thank you. Thank you
Isn't
very
the answer
much.
to everything?
All right.
Life, the universe, and everything.
So do we got any other credits for Joe that we wanted to talk about? What are some of the things he's been working on?
Oh, yeah. Let's
Come on, my
see.
research people are all like,
That's not Joe.
that is definitely not Joe.
Actually, strangely enough, my wife has struck
That's
up a
not Joe.
friendship with Joe's wife.
Oh, yeah?
So
Did they meet at last year's show?
they met at last year's show, and now they're going to see Itzhak Perlman together at the Eastman Theater this fall.
How cool is that?
Wow.
That is great.
Susan saw him in Buffalo a couple months ago, and then told, and I'm sorry, I think her name's Linda, maybe Linda Jusko, I think so.
Yeah, sounds right.
And
Sounds right.
was telling Linda about it, and I want to go, and turns out he's coming to Rochester, so
There you go.
she's going to be visiting Rochester on her own. Susan
Nice.
goes, well, Joe can come down and hang out with Bill. And, me being the introvert I am, so, and him being the introvert he is, and so we'll both be spending our time home alone watching whatever we watch on TV.
No, Joe and Billy are going to be hanging out together just 80 miles apart.
Yeah,
doing-
exactly.
Doing separate things,
Yeah.
but they're going to be hanging out at the same time.
And not telling each other what we're doing.
Yeah, but that's the classic introvert kind of hangout
I'll
thing.
tell him when I see him in at the FCC. FC3
FC3.
That one, yeah.
FC3 is for me. I thought that slogan was hilarious as soon as I heard it. I'm like, okay, that's worth something there. All right, there we go. We might have gone a little
Billy,
too far
did
on
you know
it.
that Joe Jusko did some wrestling programs back in the early 90s?
Did he really?
Yeah, he did the Royal Rumbles in 91 and 92 and WrestleMania 7.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay.
So Joe is a wide-ranging artistic talent.
And you're going to get a chance, like everybody else, you're going to get a chance, courtesy of our guys at First Print Comics, you're going to get a chance to meet Joe Jusko. So, and that's cool. That's very cool stuff. And then we got a lot of comic book artists coming up. I know that there's another one we're going to be talking about in a bit. Doug Arthur, we'll get to him in a little bit. And then there's,
a couple more.
A couple more. Rob Dumo's going to be
My
there.
friends still haven't gotten back to you, huh?
I keep
Are you
getting
gonna punch me?
messages from. No, I'm not going to punch you. You're outside my arm reach.
Oh, okay.
No, I actually
Because they've both messaged me saying, I'll see you.
Right.
So-
And I have gotten a message from Dan several times saying, "Oh, I just got home. I'll get onto it first thing
he was
in the
in
morning."
Seattle, I
and,
think,
and
last
I
week,
totally
so.
get the whole busy lives of everyone. So I'm just getting to the point where I might just ask your wife to do a little bio up for them because
is that what you're looking for? Is bios?
Bios and pictures so we can put them up on the thing. You're good.
He's got a devil in the Pope on his shoulder.
This is fine.
You're playing with my boss's bobbleheads.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm just over here minding my own business.
That's why I have my back to him right now.
Okay, good.
But I'm just thinking at this point, to get a bio and a picture,
Okay.
we could have your wonderful wife,
Yeah.
the creative genius that she is,
I'm sure
do
that,
something up
yeah.
for us at this point. Because I know
Have
everyone
they
has
signed
busy lives.
papers and things? Or
No, they just said yes, they're coming.
Okay, they're coming then.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is okay.
And
So-
these are who we're talking about that we're going to
Dan
announce?
Parent.
Dan Parent and Fernando Ruiz, right?
Yes.
Formerly of Archie Comics.
Dan is still with Archie.
Dan-
Fernando
okay.
isn't.
And upset about Riverdale.
Yeah, he doesn't like Riverdale at all. I love it. See, and I may have to have a discussion. They have a current comic out called Die Kitty Die, which
Yes.
which
I've seen a little bit about that.
all of the comics websites are calling it one of the best comics out now, and I agree. I think it's hilarious and very smart. So.
Good stuff.
So I-
Outstanding.
And if you follow me on Facebook, Dan did a birthday present for my wife last week.
I did see that.
Yeah.
That's an amazing piece
Yeah.
he did for her.
So.
I know. I was so excited
I
to
love both
have
those guys.
Susan as a fellow Pisces.
Yeah. Oh, is that what her sign is?
Yes.
I just know her birthday. So.
Water sign.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
They cry a lot.
Not
She
always.
probably doesn't
This one does.
Who, Susan? She can.
because she's a water sign.
Yes.
There we go. So
I
moving
thought
on
if you
down.
get started.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Time
sorry.
to move on. All right, we
But
talked.
blue looks really good on you, Sybil.
Does. It's a lovely color. She's wearing
Is blue
a
your
lovely
favorite
blue.
color?
Sybil
See,
today is
it
wearing a
must
lovely
another
blue
be a
ensemble from Pierre
water
Cardin.
sign. As we've totally digressed everything else. Okay.
Oh, come on.
So when do you want me to start recording?
Mean we haven't? What's this image?
I love this job. I really do. This is my favorite job in the world.
This is a job?
This is not just a job, it's an adventure.
Side questing and digressing.
That's it. That's the way to play it.
Side quest.
That's the way to play it. If you have been a regular listener of Monkey Business at this point, this should
sorry.
not be a surprise.
Yeah, no, not at
Seriously,
all.
this should not be a surprise. My friend Doug, who I game with every other week, was telling me he's just starting to listen to the podcasts, and I said, "What do you think?" He kind of like just gave me that tight smile, the slow nod, and he's like, "Yeah, well, it's something to listen to." Thanks, man.
It's better than not listening.
Thank you, Douglas Bose, for your amazing vote of confidence. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
we love Doug.
Love Doug.
Yes.
All right, moving on.
Okay.
We have
The most recent
addition to our VIP panel.
Oh, Sybil's like so excited over
Sybil's
there.
now. You're about to start hearing Sybil either giggle, squeal, both,
And yes.
and yes.
And
Yes.
she has met this
and,
guest.
him.
and you've met him, so you can tell us a little bit about him. We're talking about the
giggling already.
original American Red Power Ranger,
Woohoo!
Austin St. John, who played Jason, the original
Jason
Red
Lee
Ranger.
Scott.
Jason Lee Scott, Austin St. John, and Austin has had quite a. He has not been an avid actor, right? He
No.
doesn't have a long list of credits.
No, his first credit was in 96,
Mm-hmm.
96 as... No, it's not... 93, sorry. 96 was Power Rangers Zeo.
Okay.
But the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers started in 93.
Right.
And is the original Red Ranger.
And he was on the show for how long? A couple of years?
6 years.
Uh-huh.
And then during that time, they did where he went from the Red Ranger, it became the Gold Ranger, and then they had
He disappeared for a little while and then came back.
then he was on Power Rangers Wild Force as the Red Ranger in the episode Forever Red, where they brought in all the Red Rangers. I remember seeing that episode because
You're a fangirl. You admit it.
I am a fangirl.
Admit it.
Absolutely. I have posted some of the stuff to his site when I was watching Power Rangers, and it was like when they had the big Megazord and he was up there, and I'm like, click, and things like that.
There
I
you
think
go.
it was right around his birthday in September.
Oh, he's a September baby
He
too?
is a September baby.
He and me both. All right. Now, Jason has not contented himself to just live the life, live in La Vida Ranger. He's been involved in a lot of things.
Live in La Vida Ranger.
Well, he's a certified EMT, and wasn't he? He was in the armed services
He was in
overseas.
the armed services where he was an EMT.
Yeah, and so that's like that's ballsy.
And he
right
talks
there.
about it when he's at cons. Part of his discussion is he talks about being over there and being an EMT, which it's very amazing.
That's actually something my sister would be really into because she's actually training to be a paramedic.
Okay, so
stateside.
we want her to
Yeah.
we want to meet her, or we want her to meet him. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to say. Failed on that one, and then also he's a martial arts instructor. So he wasn't just a young actor who was trying to get a part. He had the chops to do all the maneuvers and the kicks and the punches and everything. He had
kick
that
some
skills,
ass.
and so he has taken that and evolved a little career where he's basically he teaches as well as does a wide variety of other things, and he's just such a capital guy. Everybody I've talked to, and Sybil, you're on that list, so you can tell us a little bit about him. But everybody I've heard stories about, it's like this guy is just so freaking cool to talk to, and he's always so generous with his time.
We actually had like a 5-minute discussion about my name.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
He's like, when I first met him and introduced myself, he goes, "That's your real name?" It's like, yes. He goes, "Out of the tens of thousands of people I've met, you are the first Sybil, and I love it. And tell me, how'd you get your name?" And we had a whole discussion about
That's
my
so
name.
cool. That is so fun that he would
Wow.
take that time, and that's cool. So Jason will be available, like everybody else. He'll be available for pictures and autographs, chances to chat with him about your name, and he's also going to have some panel time.
I was wrong. He was not in the military.
He was not. Okay, well,
No,
how
he worked alongside
Inside
the
the
U.S. military in Iraq and Kuwait as a medic.
Gotcha.
But his father and brother were both Marines.
Okay, so he does have that strong tie.
Connection to the
Strong,
Marines.
and
Yeah.
he's got respect for that, and so that's probably even more dangerous because this is a guy who's basically volunteered to go and help the military. So that's even more ballsy in my opinion. So the more
And don't forget, he's in the short movie The Order with
Yes.
all the Power Rangers and
That's
right,
coming
yep.
that
out
Karen
in-
Ashley's involved with.
Yep.
Not to be confused with the
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't take advantage of this old man and his short-term memory problems. You leave me alone right now. You're fired.
You do not have the power to fire me.
I have the power to say it.
That's about it.
I have the power to say it. That's about it as far as
do
it
not
goes.
have any
Chris,
power.
honest, I wasn't setting you up for that.
I know, but I'm gonna have words with you later, D. Anyway,
And looking at a little bit of trivia on here, he speaks 4 languages:
seriously,
English, Spanish, Italian, and Korean.
that's outstanding. Well, Spanish and Italian are
They're close.
They're close neighbors to each other. I know this for a fact because I took Spanish when I was in high school. I became fairly good at it, and then I went to college. I decided to take Italian because I thought it would be fun, and they were so close that I started screwing them up. And I remember my Italian teacher giving me my test back, and I had failed it. And he said, "You did great in Spanish class, but this is an Italian class." And I was like, then I realized I can't speak either language. I was that screwed. So
And he was voted both in 2004 and 2007 between ABC Family and then Toon Disney as the most popular Red Ranger of all.
there you go. You
Or
got to go with the
greatest
original.
Red Ranger of all. Absolutely.
You got to go with the original.
They've got just hopping back to our website at fc3rock.com. We have some cool photos of him just like on the motorcycle with the fire behind him.
Oh
and things
yeah,
like
because
that.
you
They're
need to be
just-
backlit as a hero. That's all there is to
Absolutely.
it.
I'm just
walking
like,
away from explosions.
Him putting
Cool
I think
guys
he had the
don't
sword,
look
right?
at
And he put the
explosions.
sword on top of the big morphing power weapon. Where Sybil's looking at me like I've got 12 heads because I don't think she's actually watched the show.
Yeah. I grew up watching the show.
Yeah, she is.
When it was announced that he was coming,
Did you squeal?
Tell me the story. Tell the
okay,
whole story.
So I'm looking at my phone, and the phone's ringing at work. So I answer the phone, and I'm talking to the customer, and I'm looking at my phone at the same time. And I see that we announced Austin St. John, and I almost just started squealing, but I was talking to a customer at work, so I couldn't. So it's really hard. I had to put my phone down and go, yeah, and like try to talk to this person and transfer them quickly off the phone. And then
So you could go,
and then I stood up, walked outside to the front of the dealership, and just started squealing and turning in circles. And I walked back in, and the sales manager was like, "What was that?" And I
like,
told
you
him,
don't understand.
I told him what it was, and he just looked at me like, "No."
And you know, the funny thing is Sibylla, you had a week head start on that, and I'd given you a hint.
Yes.
The week before, saying this is something we're on the point of, and we may be announcing soon. So just keep. So you had enough head start to know. Can you imagine how that would have felt if I had not given you any clue whatsoever?
I wouldn't have been able to. I would have hung up on the customer.
Please hold. Click. Ah. So yes, this is a great guy. I mean, like I said before, the stories are out there. They're easy to find. Austin St. John is just a class act. And we're looking forward to introducing him to you, our listeners and ticket holders. Come to the show, meet him, get his autograph, get a picture taken, spend some time talking with him. He'll love to see you, and I'm sure you're going to have just as much of a good time chatting with him.
I've got a lot of shows to binge watch between now and May 19th.
I know, seriously. This is
I have to go back to watching Power Rangers again.
We're going to have to make TV watching part of our job. It's just kind of wild that way. All right, who else do we have on the list?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Do we have other people on the list? Because
we do have a returning artist from last year.
And that would be?
Douglas Arthur.
Tales of the Doug Side.
And he had a new Kickstarter that was happening.
I backed it. I'll be picking up my new book at the FC3.
Because
those will be his first copies of it.
Yes. Wow. Crime something.
Yes, I was just going to look it up. I was just going to log in my Kickstarter.
Yeah,
he was doing a thing where it was like a Kickstarter thing they're doing where they're trying to do quick,
like a
week-long Kickstarters.
Okay.
And for low amounts of money. And he just $100 to put together this new book he's making. And so I threw in $10 and he's up to, I think, almost 300 now. He's adding on stretch goals and extra pieces of original artwork, the backers and stuff. And
Doug's just a class guy. I love him.
Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah, Doug's great.
I met him last year, picked up one of his bigger trade paperbacks because I just got a really big kick out of him and his artwork. I thought he had some really funny stuff.
He spent the last hour or two of FC3 writing out thank you cards to the staff.
And he does those little sketch cards.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did those sketch cards, and they were just each of them was individualized, and he had little artwork on the corners and whatnot. It was a lot of fun to see that in action. It was a nice little touch from him.
It's a pocket
full of crime. Yep.
A rogues gallery of horrible humor.
Oh boy!
It says coming this May from Tales from the Doug Side. So it's
and his sense of humor is definitely a little
twisted. Yeah.
Yes.
He fits in well because I believe we're going to have Jason Youngbluth coming back as well.
Nice.
And Jason is he is funny. If you get a chance to just kick back and talk to Jason Youngbluth, these guys are just absolutely hilarious and they're a lot of fun to be in the middle of when they're bantering with each other. So that's good. That's good stuff.
Also, coming with Doug from the same area of New York State is one of his good friends, Bill Anderson.
Really?
Yes, who has also inked comics for Marvel, DC, Image, Comico.
First.
What's first?
Was he on first? That's another house.
Oh, is it?
It's another comic book house.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's done Spider-Man, X-Men, Silver Surfer, Superman, Batman, The Elementals, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Heroes in a Half Shell.
Turtle power.
Oh boy.
This is the type of family we live with.
Yeah.
This is all good. This is all good.
He had heard about FC3 last year, but he had a prior commitment.
So he couldn't make it, but now he's making a point of joining us this year.
Show, but he was like, keep me in mind for our second show, and he is really excited to come up here, and he'll be here all weekend.
So for those of you people out there who think a proper comic book convention needs comic book artists, I'm thinking we're delivering at this point.
We got it in spades.
We got it in spades. We got it in hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds, too, at this point, I think, pretty much.
And actually, when I just I Googled him and wound up on a page at comicvine.gamespot.com, and There's a cover I think he probably did the cover of Silver Surfer with Galactus, and Galactus is just one of my favorites.
Okay.
I may be commissioning this man to draw me a Galactus.
That would be badass. That'd be completely badass.
I love him.
All right, and we got one more name that we want to talk about for this particular podcast. And because I think at this point you've hung in there with us for what, about an hour and a half?
Let's see. Let me pull this up. No, just an hour.
Just an hour?
Just really.
That's awesome.
It seems like so much longer.
Thank you. Nice. She's jonesing.
No, that's okay.
It's too late now. No, it's too late.
late.
Moment came and gone. It's okay. She slung that one out there.
Yes.
But we talked about him a lot in the last one when we had Colin Delaney and Jason on. We were talking about the professional wrestling aspect. We're going to have Jerry the King Lawler, just as a reminder.
I cannot wait.
Jerry
for
Neither
the
can I. I'm
King.
so happy.
This is so cool. And it's funny because he really is one of those guys who portrays a particular part and personality when he's on the mic, when he's in front of the camera, but then when it's all off and everything's shut down and he's just talking to you as a regular guy, he's got that whole, well, this is just a class act, another really nice guy. He loves to draw.
Oh, that's right. He is an artist.
He is an artist himself. He's a big collector of Superman memorabilia. And so we're going to keep him right there in VIP rows so he can have some fun himself and talk to some comic book artists and other actors. But Jerry's going to be there, and he's going to be there Sunday only. He's only going to be there on Sunday. So if you come looking for him on Saturday, you won't find him. But on Sunday, he will be there. And we have a whole professional wrestling program for Sunday. We're going to have a ring set up in the Galleria of the Convention Center. We're going to have some professional wrestlers from the local area. And they're going to be doing some matches. And Jerry will be there to commentate, to do presentations, to sign autographs, take pictures. He may even throw a haymaker or two for the fun of it. We don't know. Depends on how much into it he wants to get.
This may not be appropriate, but can I bring up one concern?
Go.
Now, strangely enough, last year we had George the Animal Steel booked, and he got ill and just passed away not too long ago.
Yes.
We originally, when you guys started working on this year, you had Richard Hatch scheduled, and he passed away.
Right.
Now we're bringing in a man who once had a heart attack on live TV.
Yes.
And
we are not
born in
cursed.
49,
we are
so.
not cursed. I've spent a lot of money at various New Age shops to make sure that we are blessed, that we have all the bad juju steered away. But we're fighting that one off.
Okay.
But no, we've already actually, when you think about it, we've already had our one with Richard passing away.
Oh, that's right. So next year
we got to be very careful, very selective. We're gonna pray for the good juju, but we will be fine. I don't think it's gonna come in threes on that one.
I definitely wouldn't book Stan Lee next year.
No.
Yeah, no.
Oh God.
No.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, no. We want
an American treasure.
He is. We want Stan to live a long time more, and so we will not invite him to FC3.
I got my picture taken with him a couple years ago and saw him in a panel, and he's just fantastic. So.
Excelsior. All right. So Jerry the King, and if you want more information about Jerry's arrival, we do have podcasts where we talk about the professional wrestling aspect of FC317. And so please feel free to go back in the archives, check those out, ask your questions. We will not turn anybody away. We'll not spin anything. We're going to give you honest answers whenever you ask us questions, and we look forward to hearing you and getting your input. As a matter of fact, we are coming up on, it's going to be after the fact when we actually broadcast this particular podcast, but on March 18th, we're having our Star Wars Trivia Night here in town. And that was from the request of a fan. Somebody had seen our Doctor Who Trivia Night, and they're like, hey, can you do a Star Wars night? We weren't thinking about it until a fan mentioned it and asked us to do it. We went right to work and said, no problem. If somebody wants a Star Wars Trivia Night, we're going to make that happen. So you know what? Let's use that as an example that you, the fan, the ticket holder, the listener, whatever you are, if you follow us on Facebook and that's it, you have input in this show. Go ahead.
Sorry to jump in and
you
interrupt
jumped in
you.
on that.
I know.
I'm out of that zone now.
Sorry.
It's all over.
Talking about those trivia nights, we've also got one planned out for the end of April for pop culture movie trivia.
Oh, right. Yep. We are working on that one.
Trivia with different...
Each round will be a genre.
Yes.
Okay. And so these are things... You make a suggestion, we will do our utmost to make that suggestion happen.
And then go above and beyond.
Yep. Last year, I remember we had the two original Rangers come in, and there was a gentleman who came to the convention and took me aside and said, "Look, this is my thing. Power Rangers are my jam. If you can keep bringing in Power Rangers, I will be happy." Well, guess what, man? We're bringing in Power Rangers again. Woo-woo! So, and right on the heel of a movie that's coming up, with the
March
new Power,
24th.
March 24th, the new Power Ranger movie is coming out. So, you have input in this show. One of the original slogans we were using was for fans, by fans, or by fans, for fans, whichever it was. But the long and the short of it is the bottom line is you have input. We may not be able to do everything you guys ask us to do, but we're certainly going to give it a shot because we're fans too, and we want to just have fun. We want it to be a great party. Everything else, if you build it, they will come. And we want you to come to the show, and we want to give you something you want to see. So that's my spiel. That's a more in-depth look at how the VIP row is going to look. The guests that were coming to sell autographs and take pictures and do all sorts of fun things and talk to you and share their memories and stories with you.
Bring your questions.
Bring your questions. Mm-hmm. Bring your costumes if you want. Bring things to sign.
Bring the family.
Bring the family. Well
How
played,
many
D.
Red Rangers are we going to get this year?
How many Red Rangers are we going to get this year, do you think?
Yeah,
there's going to be tons of
There's probably a few of them, I would say. Yeah, for cosplay, I'd say a few.
I bet they're going to have their own little meetup just for like a photo shoot or something.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
I'm more into the Princess Leia meetup, but I'll go with a Red Ranger. I just got hit. That happened. That's cool. That means I hit the right mark. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap everything up at this point. For Billy, for Tanya, for Tony, for Dee, and for Sybil, this has been Monkey Business, more so than ever before. A production of Mighty Monkey Productions, a now non-for-profit corporation. Purveyors. It is official. Purveyors of the Flower City Comic-Con coming at you May 20th and 21st of 2017 at the Floriano Rochester Riverside Convention Center in downtown Rochester, New York. Look for us on Facebook. www.facebook.com/FC3ROC. And we will see you all soon. Have a great day.
68 days.
I love it. It's so close.